Captain McIntosh. Chase Fifes and Drums, and we're a recreation of a Union Army Regimental Fife and Drum Corps. Now the armies both north and south were made up primarily of infantry regiments, and when a regiment was freshly recruited, it would have about 1,000 officers and men. Each regiment was made up of companies of 10 separate companies of about 100 officers and men, and in each company there would be 2 musicians who had the duty of playing reveille and all other signals that were heard both in camp and in the field throughout the day. We're going to do the very first thing a soldier would have heard in the morning as part of a sequence of about 7 or 8 tunes for reveille, and this one is called Three Camps.
I'm not in front. For doing all the duties throughout the day was the field drum, like we have over here on my left. I'm going to have Private Jones step forward with his drum. He's carrying a wooden shelled rope tension drum. The shell is made out of ash bent by steam, and it's an exact copy of a Swissman contract made in Philadelphia. In fact, Jones made most of the drums in our corps based on original that he had in his collection. The heads are made out of calfskin. The top is called the batter head because he batters it with his sticks. The bottom head is called the snare head because of the animal gut snare cord stretched across the bottom. Without those cords, it would sound like he was playing on a tom-tom. There's about 50 feet of rope that hold these drums together, and the excess is braided into what's called a drag rope, where he could sling that over his shoulder when we were on the march, when he was not required to play. Tension is placed on the heads by pushing the leather ears down on the ropes, and that really makes a drum sing out. Without that, it would sound like a cardboard box. Now Jones, they had to learn over 24 rudiments or lessons on the drum in order to be able to perform all the duties throughout the day and perform all the tunes that we play on the march and elsewhere.
So Jones is going to pick one of the 26 rudiments to demonstrate for you right now.
I'll choose the flam.
He has selected the easiest of the rudiments called the flam. The flam. We'll select another one for him. This is a little more challenging. It's called the long roll, which was also used to signal the troops to the color line to take up their arms. Over on this side are called fifes. They're akin to a flute or a piccolo, a woodwind instrument, very loud and shrill, meant to be heard over long distances, even the din of battle. And they're made out of wood. Very simple instrument. If you've ever blown across the top of a bottle and gotten sound to come out, that's kind of the same technique that we use to get sound out of these. And you can reach almost 2 octaves, not quite, but the upper notes start getting a little bit off key. So we're going to demonstrate now a medley, an Irish piece called Patio Tool. And in this tune, there's a lot of fancy drum sticking, so we'll demonstrate a little bit more of the drumming of this time period. Patio Tool. Now the fifers and drummers also played for entertainment, especially on the march. It made marching go a little easier, picked up the spirits of the troops. And they also took up a lot of popular tunes from the time period to entertain soldiers in camp as well. And we're going to play a medley right now Bold soldier boy, wait for the wagon and kingdom coming. First date. Confederates in the audience right now? Don't be bashful. We have one over here. Anybody else?
What you gonna do with that?
I know there's some secret Confederates out there. Definitely this man over here in the general's uniform. We're going to play some of their pieces. The first one's called Yellow Rose of Texas. The second one is called Stonewall Jackson's Way. And the third one, interestingly enough, was written by an Ohioan, Daniel Decatur Emmett of Mount Vernon, Ohio, who said after the war, had he known they were going to use it for their national anthem, he may never written the darn thing. So I think you know where I'm going there. And when we reach a certain point, some of you closet Confederates out there want to give a rebel yell and help us out, that'd be great. Confederate Medley. committed. You know, it was a favorite of Abraham Lincoln. That was, after Lee surrendered, and the Marine Band came over to serenade old Abe while he was standing on the balcony outside the White House, and they asked him, Mr. President, what tune would you like to hear? And he says, you know, one of my favorites has always been Dixie, so they played Dixie. Anyway, we're going to atone for that sin, and we're going to play a Yankee piece, and this has Yankee in the title. You might be interested to know, it goes back to at least the time of the American Revolution. The British were the ones that played the tune first to poke fun at the colonists because to call somebody a doodle was not a nice thing to call somebody back then. And as the war progressed and the colonists began winning the battles, their musicians took it up and played back at the British to say, if we're a bunch of doodles, what does that make you? We're going to play two different versions, one slow melodic version from the time of the American Revolution, and then we'll jump ahead 4 several years and play a more up-tempo Civil War version. We call it Double Doodle. Well, I think we got them right where we need them, right? They're all warmed up now. We're going to play a piece, a medley of 2 tunes. The first one is called Jaybird's Quick Step, followed by Fireman's Quick Step. And when we get to the second half of Fireman's Quick Step, there's a vocal part we all need you to help us out with. And you simply yell, when we reach that point, the word fire, fire, fire 3 times, just like that, as loud as you can. And try to do it in key. Now, the drum major is going to raise his baton when it's time to do that and help you out, but we're going to practice a little bit before we attempt to do this. Mr. Drum Major.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
A little more over here.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
How about those folks over on the left?
Yeah, you did.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
I think they have them. Don't forget your line. I'll take a vote here. Who all wants to hear another fast one? Raise your hands. All right, who would like to hear a nice slow one? Raise your hand.
Wabash?
Wabash. All right, we'll play Gary On. We're going to play Gary On, and you may like to know that this was a favorite of General George Armstrong Custer, still a favorite of the 7th Cavalry today, an Irish piece, not about a boy named Gary, but a place in Ireland named Gary On. And we're going to add to it a Scottish piece called The Campbells Are Coming, which was played by the Iron Brigade's Fife and Drum Corps as they marched into the Battle of Gettysburg on July 1st, 1863. Sergeant Campbell's. All right, yep. Slow, sad Irish piece right now. If you saw the movie Gettysburg, you might remember it. It's called The Minstrel Boy. We have time for just one more, and we'll be back again at 4 o'clock to play one more time, so if you're in the neighborhood, please come back and join us. This is probably one of the most popular of all fife and drum tunes of all times. Dates back maybe to the time of the French Revolution or possibly the Napoleonic Wars, when Britain and France always seemed to be at war with each other. This is called Downfall of Paris. Chase Fifes and Drums. We'll be back again at 4 o'clock to play some more. If you enjoy our music and would like to take some home with you, we'd be glad to come. But there's another alternative. I've been told we have these strange little boxes and our music is supposedly inside those boxes. I've held them up to my ears and I don't hear a thing. But since you're more technologically advanced than I am, perhaps you would know what to do with them. There are 4 volumes, the largest collection of Civil War and American fife and drum music available today. We'd be glad to sell all 4 of them to you, or just one, or whatever you want. But to see me after we break ranks, and I can take care of that. Thank you very much. Come back and see us again.